My boys, what up and welcome back again. It's your boy Eileo. Today we have another account review. It's from a good buddy named LibertyPuff. He's always in my live stream somehow, even though he lives in like Russia or somewhere. But he's always in the live streams and he's like, hey Eileo, let's do account review. And I wanted to say, thank you guys so much for even allowing me this opportunity to, I guess, go into your accounts and judge it, because I mean, it's not every day I get to do this, and I really appreciate it because it's not only fun and learning for me, seeing what you guys do at your mons, but it's also a learning experience for everyone. So, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Let's go ahead and get right into it, though. What I'll do this time, though, is I actually do some of your bingo for you, but I'll go ahead and go into B10 first, just to see what you're working with right here. So he has Light Nike, a Dark Mona, Water Yuki, and Dark Tina. So we're going to start the battle, and I figured I would do B10 first before I even look at your mons, as a great way for me just to judge how good your team is, because I wouldn't say easily base it off, but you can probably base how good a team is off of their clear rate for B10. I mean, B10's kind of a cornerstone from mid to late game. I would say it's more mid, but depending on your clear time for B10 with your most optimal team that you have will really show me what mons that you're using, what mons that you've built correctly, and what type of gem setups do you have, because there's plenty of people with decent mons that are actually usable, but they lack the gems because they aren't farming golems and stuff hard enough. But it looks like his team is shredding through pretty easily, and we're already at the golem. My only gripe so far is I think maybe Dark Tina and Mona could be overkill. Like perhaps you could add a sapper in, but let's see the time, because I think that's really what's killing your running speed. I mean, they're both doing work, but you see there's only 2 steps of stack being applied to the golem, which is what is slowing you down in the end. And that animation is slow as all get out. I got my Super League on my phone right now. Alright, what's the clear time? Clear time is 1:38. Pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. That shows me already off the bat that you probably should be in the late game. Because I would say a good estimate for B10 is if you guys can clear B10 in 2 to 2.5 minutes. That's a good indication that you're probably mid game. Anything from 1:30 to about 2 minutes, I would say, is probably more towards the late game, and then like OP is like straight 1 minute flat, straight 1 minute flat. But I'll go and sell that gem for you. It's a recovery gem, man. Don't worry, don't worry. Let me go ahead and take a look at your PvP defense too before we start breaking down your mons. That way I'm not going to a different screen all the time. So your defense party, let's take a look at them. You have Evo 3, Wood Nightmare, Light Nike, Valk, Sun Wukong, and Shiva. Overall, not bad, but because they're all one element essentially, not counting your Nightmare, I feel like that's what's helping them. That's their downfall, that they're being shredded too quickly by dark teams. I mean, yeah, I didn't want to save that. They're being shredded by dark teams too quickly. As you can see, that there's some, not all, but the ones that do end up defeating you are using dark teams. Kind of hard to say what you could change with it though. I would probably interchange either Valk or Sunwoo, actually not, probably Valk or your light Nike instead, since you're not using her as leader in the and I would exchange probably, I don't know, some type of dark unit. I don't know what you have yet because we haven't checked that out, but I would probably change some type of dark unit in there. And Shiva is great, but we need to see what your Shiva has, because I feel like that's what they're going for, and that's definitely what they're attacking first. They're bursting down, they're probably ignoring light Nike. They're probably bursting down your Valk, then they're bursting down either Nightmare or Sun Wukong, then they're going for Shiva, and they're leaving light Nike for last because that's bait. But I mean, it's pretty solid so far. I don't know how much PvP you do, LibertyPuff, so it might just be a team that you set and just leave it. But I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It needs a little bit more variety in there, and it'll be even more annoying for them once they see that they can't just straight dart roll everything, every single thing. And here's his Mon box. 94, so I'm assuming the rest is in storage. Yep, and he has all kinds of Mons in storage. Shiva, Miho, Indra. Yeah, he has a majority of these. I'm over here struggling. Is Nat 5s. Like, dude, you have all kinds of Nat 5s, and your box is nice and clean and legitness. Like, this is like minimalist at its finest, and it's like beautiful. It's beautiful. Majority of his Mons are already level 60, so he's definitely, I'm gonna go ahead and assume, late game slash very close to late game. Nice set of Mons. Nice set of Mons. We'll go ahead and just start going through them right now, though. I see that you have your Leo, which you have skill books for. Make sure you skill book them up. But you have your Leo on a triple defense set, which is a bit weird, I would say. I mean, his double attack and crit rate is fine. It's a bit weird though. I think you're trying to offset his lack of defense by giving him more as a bonus, when honestly, I mean, you're gonna help him survive longer with that set on him. But if he gets his defense broke, he's gonna die anyways. And with Hunter, you're not really maximizing his full potential with Ruin, in my opinion. So maybe I would switch him over to Ruin if you can get him max crit. But if you can't get a max crit rate right now, then keep him as he is. Just a little bit weird considering he's an attacker. I'm assuming that you're just trying to round him out though. I mean, if you're just trying to round him out, then he's gem fine. He has good resist on him, good crit rate, little boost in his defense, but his defense is already a bit low, so it's not like I expect him to really survive after a certain point. Yuki, she's fine because she's up defense down. Yeah, you have her on Valor. Nice set of resist on that, and crit rate is pretty darn close to max. Not pretty darn close, but actually, yeah, it is pretty darn close. Looks like she has books as well. Just one. Overall, definitely not bad. She's usable. She's there honestly as kind of like a debuffer with some attack stats to her, but not really there for pure attack, just debuffing. Boltwing, he's on a broken set. I'm assuming that you use him, but not too much. Maybe as a Titans Mon, because you can definitely use him in Titans. No really comment there. He's on a broken set as well. Pebble, I never really found a use for him other than maybe clan versus clan, or clan versus clan as defense, but that's when you're kind of beginning the game. I wouldn't really say in game would be optimal as defense. Fire Cupid, he's on a broken set as well. Looks like you're going for max recovery on him. Recovery, HP, and defense, just so he can get the heals off. Overall, not bad. Plus 12 indicates to me that he is probably on Titans as well. Well, that's what you predominantly use him for. Nothing wrong with that. His stats seems fine, and I'm sure that he serves you well. Daphne, you're on a broken set on her as well. Plus 12, HP, recovery, defense. Not bad at all either. You got some of her resist up. She has a couple skill books, but they don't really matter. Again, not bad at all. She's a tank. There's nothing really else to say about that. Light sucks on intuition. I wish mine was on ruin. One day she'll get there, but until then, and you do got her booked up to as much as she can be. Attack, crit rate, and attack, HP. So the reason why a lot of people, myself included, will go HP with Succubus, even though she's super, is because Fire Succubus is just so glassy that it's not even funny. Like, she can dish out some damage with 2 attack gems, but the problem is that she's so glassy that even though she can heal herself, if she gets hit once, it's like rest in peace to the squad, my boys. Like, she's gone, she's done. So that's why I can understand you having HP up there. She does her job. She does her job. Ruin would be optimal for her, in my opinion, with the added crit damage to help boost her attack up, especially with it being offset with HP. But if this is all you can get, then you're good to go, man. You're good to go. Fire Siegfried. He's on his Siphon set, which is great. Looks like double attack and crit rate. Fine. He's Evo 3. He's fine. Of course, he doesn't have any skill books. He's fine. He's good to go. Perfect Siphon farmer. If you guys don't have a good Siphon farmer that's easily farmable, then you need to go ahead and get Siegfried. Like, stop playing. Hanzo, he's on a HP set. Double, wait. Okay, HP and double attack. Decent amount of crit rate on him as well. I'm assuming you're doing the HP to help offset his, not lack of HP, but to help boost his HP so he survives longer in Titans. Definitely not bad for keeping him being able to survive in Titans, but perhaps have you thought about maybe looking into Leech instead so he can heal himself every turn? Maybe that's something to think about. Like I said, I don't know for sure what you're doing with him, but I mean, he's not geared wrongfully. I mean, you did this on purpose, and his stat allocation is perfectly fine. So maybe think about Leech and see how Leech goes. But I mean, I can't really comment too far without, you know, actually going in depth and seeing what your Hanzo does. Verde, she's on a Leech set, which is perfectly fine. If you do want to squeeze a little bit more damage out of her, I would say go ahead and aim for plus 15 on these gems if you want to squeeze a little bit more attack out of her. Just help her survive a little bit more and dish a little bit more damage out. But I mean, overall, guys, keeping your gems at plus 12, especially for Titans mons, unless you have them excess gold to spend, is perfectly fine. Like, this build is perfectly fine. She should do a fair amount of damage and no complaints there. This dude has all kinds of triple star action, dude. I'm kind of jealous. Triple star wild thing, 2 skill books, not that important. She's at 100% crit rate, defense, attack, and crit rate. So overall, pretty balanced build. Wild thing is one of those mons that you can build any which way and no ways really wrong. You can build her with triple attack. You can build her with HP, attack, and crit rate, HP and double attack, because she heals herself on both turns and she does a very good job at healing herself. You can do her anyways, but this is probably one of the best overall gem sets that I've seen on a Wild Thing, especially when mine is on a triple broken set and she's just triple attack because she doesn't have a square. But this is definitely one of the better Wild Thing builds I've seen. So guys, definitely take note. He has defense, attack, and crit rate. You can always offset that defense with another attack one. You can put HP in there as well, but do take in mind that more HP makes it harder for her to heal when her attack isn't skilled high enough to heal all of that HP. So just keep that in mind. He has Vamp. I never used the Vamp, but he's max crit rate. Resist set, nothing wrong with that. Pretty good shape. Neza's the tank, so having her in defense is fine. HP, defense, that's fine. She's just there to debuff. She doesn't need attack. She doesn't need anything fancy. She's good to go. And she's triple square master race. Man, you got a triple square master race fetish, man. Let's go over here to Yaksha. She's in a broken set as well. Plus 12 HP, defense, and what? HP. Okay, so she's a defender type, so there's nothing really wrong that you could be doing here with that. Attack down and blind. She's definitely a Titan's Mon. Only thing that makes me sad about her though is that her blind is so low. I mean, 50% for 3 turns is a lot, but it's just so low. I mean, you can have her build decently though, so I mean, I can't really judge too hardcore. Kira, she's on a resist set, HP, defense. That's fine. Critical hits. I have a 100% chance to restore allies SP. So you're using her just as a healer only. I mean, you could definitely get her on intuition set and have her 3-star skill actually work properly, which probably is what I would recommend if you can. But I know you want to keep the resist, because what's the point of her working properly if she's being stunned all the time, you know what I mean? So it's a trade-off, but I mean, it's perfectly fine to ignore that one, because 10% SP is If it was 25 or 20%, then it'd be quite serious. Your Odin's on a broken set as well. Defense, HP. Looks like you're going for a resist, and her resist is quite high. So no comments there. She's built perfectly fine, dude. Built perfectly fine. And she's Evo 3. So you got an Evo 3 Pixie as well on a broken set. Looks like you're going for recovery, defense, and HP. That's fine as well, because Adrenaline heals her, and then she does defense up for the whole entire squad. So maximize survivability so she can continue to heal herself and buff the squad. Nothing wrong with that at all. Second, Kira. You're probably going for the same build on that. Recovery, defense. That's perfectly fine. Jubilee, looks like you're working on her. She looks fairly well off too. HP, recovery, defense. Just got to get her up. Continy, again, looks like all of these are on broken sets, which indicates to me that they're Titan's Mon. And there's nothing wrong with broken sets, you guys. The main issue with broken sets though, what I see is that people have broken sets on Mons, but they aren't how they should be. I mean, LibertyPuff, you do a great example of showing if you're on a broken set how your gems should be, like your Odin right here. So if you're in a broken set, then obviously you don't have that set bonus, which for some Mons like Grass Valk, like on a Valor set, or Water Valk on a Ruin set, would benefit them heavenly. But with most Mons, especially tank types and healers, you can put them on a broken set as long as they have high resist, as long as they're able to get their heals off, as long as they have the defense, they have the HP to survive. So definitely take note, and remember that you don't always have to have a full set, especially with 6-star gems. You just have to have a good set, and that's what makes the difference between an okay player and like an amazing player. You have Water Renew, which is kind of different. I haven't seen a Water Renew. He's on resist, HP, attack, so he's basically all out attacker. Plenty of resist on him, almost maxed. Definitely pristine. Loki, he is on Ruin as well, so you're taking advantage of that Hunter, which I'm glad to see, my boy. I'm assuming it's crit rate and double attack, or no, it's only one attack. So he's sacrificing some DPS for more survivability, which is fine, because it looks like all of these mods are on essentially what they call bruiser builds. And what bruiser builds are is basically attack, HP, defense, in this case attack, HP, crit rate. So giving up some of the damage for more survivability will net you anywhere from maybe 1 to maybe 3 turns more in Titans, which can bust out a little bit more damage. So don't feel bad about putting an attacker with an HP gem, because a lot of the time they're just too squishy to withstand anything. Water Sura, he's on a int set, perfectly fine. Crit rate, attack. Trying trying to maximize his attack, which is actually pretty darn smart. Pretty darn smart, because his defense is okay. Actually, I lied. His defense is actually awful. It's actually bad. But he has so much HP that even if he gets hit, he should be able to soak up blows quite well. And with that max crit rate and a decent amount of resist on him, not the best resist, but decent amount of resist, he's able to stun all of these mons if he can get his attack off, and while at the same time do damage. So he's kind of being like a double unit here, where he can take damage, but he can also stun mons and dish out some damage. Maybe not the best damage, but he can dish out some, and you're taking full effect of that, which is good stuff, man. Nezza, she's on a broken set as well. Balance type, so attack and blind should be HP, defense, HP. That's how I would build her. Her gem set looked like it might be struggling a little bit though, like you're not sure what to do with it, or you just picked any set that you could just to get her HP, defense. I would say definitely work on her. Her HP's fine. Work on her resist if you can, which can be kind of difficult, but other than that, I have no qualms about that. Your Leo as well, he's on a pugilist set, which is kind of trolly in my opinion, but a good clean pugilist set with taunt and stun to help boost that stun rate up, which is perfectly fine. And hopefully he can get a stun off too with taunt, which might be counterproductive, but at least, you know, at least it will be able to boost up stun for his 5-star skill, which is kind of the killer right here, because 20% more stun with addition to that 60% can be problematic. You have your Yuki over here. She's a tank type, HP, attack. Perfectly fine, perfectly fine. She's there for sap. It doesn't really matter what type double sappers are, unless they're attacker type where they need the HP. But with attackers in general sense, you can put HP and double attack on them. You could put them on Valor, you could put them on anything. But him having her as a tank and on a broken set with HP is perfectly fine. I mean, there's not much you can do to offset her lack of damage because of sap, but just adding in more damage to that sap definitely does not hurt anything at all. And you have a water succubus as well. You have a lot of super evos, which I'm kind of jelly. She's on a stun set, critical hit, not max crit rate, unfortunately. You're working towards it, but if you could get that crit maxed, my boy, she would be like, she would be beautiful. Not necessarily for her damage, but just for her to be able to get attack down off more. But overall, it's like you're trying to offset her lack of max crit rate with stun. So who needs max crit rate if I can stun you until I can do my attack down, which is fine. No qualms about that. Water Garuda, Valor, HP, attack. So essentially just the same, just a normal attacking set. Perfectly fine, perfectly fine. I'm sure he does quite good damage, especially with that attack being that high and defense down, and he can take effect with elemental edge. Obviously not as best as a dark type would, but this is pretty much as good as it's gonna get. Sick look at Spark-It. Near max crit rate on him. Near max is just 2% off. 2% off. You're getting some resist on him as well. What is it? Crit rate, attack, HP. So essentially bruiser build. You got some books for him. Not sure what you're doing with that, but I mean, I don't have any qualms about that either, because guys, make sure you check your Spark-It out too, because if your Spark-It doesn't have max crit rate on him, then he's useless. He's useless. You're bringing in a Sea Striker to Titans, and he doesn't have the one stat that he needs for his Crazy Strike to work. Basically degrades him to a Nat 3 with like no passive ability at all. So make sure your Spark-It is on crit rate, and he will do work. He shreds in Titans. You got a good old Mari on HP. Perfectly fine. She heals herself and gets attacked down. So she's like a Nat 4 Water Persephone in a way. Definitely doesn't heal as much as Water Persephone, and doesn't have petrification like Persephone on her 5-star skill, or the HP as Persephone. But she comes fairly close, and her being on HP set, you're maximizing how much HP that she has with her being a tank as well. So you're adding survivability in there. The only thing I would suggest though is perhaps either go all the way in for HP like you are, which I would just go ahead and max your gems, or see if we can get a little bit more resist in there, or do maybe like a resist set to help boost her resist up a little bit more and sacrifice a little bit HP, but 20% isn't that much in the grand scheme of things if she's being stunned every turn to the point where she can't heal everybody. You know what I mean? Kira, she's on a broken set as well. Recovery, HP. Looks like defense. That's fine. It looks like she's a Titan's Mon. She's a healer. Not that big of a deal. You have your Balrona over here. She's on a broken set. Definitely try and get her on a leech set, LibertyPuff, if you can, so she could survive more. Or if you're not going to do leech, I would say perhaps ruin if you can, just so you can get a little bit more damage out of her courageous strike. But I would say definitely go for leech on her, especially with that square slot. You have 2 of those. Especially with that, you're able to put her with crit rate on her, and you can do crit rate, HP, and attack if you want, or crit rate and double attack, and that should give her even more damage. And I understand she's only Evo 2, but even Evo 2 in a leech set, she'll do wonders. But I mean, as she's geared now, it's not optimal, but at least you have plenty of attack on her. And while she's not critical hit reliant, having that critical hit, especially for ruin set or even leech, getting more crits off on her, can only help your courageous striker damage. It can only help it, man. And she's on a broken set, so she doesn't benefit from any HP, any defense bonuses, or anything like that. So why not? If you get a chance to, definitely do her on that. Persephone HP, what, triple HP? Persephone, you could do her on a different set as well. I mean, you could do her on a resist set. HP is fine as well. And you can also offset her her triple HP with maybe double HP and defense, or double HP and attack, just to boost her attack up a little bit. Even though she's not here to do pure damage, she's honestly just a passive healer. But and more defense would make her a bit more tankier. It would sacrifice her passive heals, so I'm not sure where you're using her at or how much you're using her. But I mean, it's something to think about. It's something to think about. I mean, once you get your other mons up, I would definitely maybe play around with her gem sets and see which one might be better for you. But as it stands now, I mean, mine's on HP set, but I hope to offset one of her gems with either attack or defense just to see how she does. But that's just food for thought. Nike, looks like you haven't gotten her to being geared up yet. I'm assuming since you built her, you're gonna put her in Titans. You could put her on probably a broken set if you can, but if you could put her on maybe a resist set or a HP or defense set, just so she can get her debuffs off, which is double defense down, just so she can survive and get that defense down off. That's all that she needs. And you have your Siren over here. Just get her to 50. Looks like her stuff's fine. Defense, HP, recovery. Yeah. Just get her to 60 and she should be fine. And Vigor doesn't scale off her HP alone, guys, so do keep that in mind. Adrenaline does scale off her HP, but Vigor does not. So she does need an HP gem, but she doesn't need triple HP. She doesn't even need double HP, in my opinion. Recovery, defense, and HP is perfectly fine for her to survive. Minicat, broken set as well. Looks like you just need to get him to 50. HP, recovery, defense, perfectly fine. Just bruiser, regular bruiser set for Titans. Cottony, Shelly. You have 3, not 1, my boy, but you have 3 level 50 Indras, and they aren't level 60, bruh. They aren't level 60 in Evo 2, bruh. Bro, you sitting right here on a gold mine of all kinds of Sea Striker damage for Titans. All kinds. You have 3 Andras, and let's see. 2 of them have a square slot. And I mean, I guess Gem of Zeal could work in this situation. And 1 doesn't have it, but if you could, I would put at least the 2 of the square. Actually, I'll put them. Just put them all on leech, man. Just put them all on leech. I mean, it sucks trying to get those gems, but put them all on leech. You could do HP, attack on this guy. You could do crit rate, attack, crit rate, attack, HP, whatever you want. But get these dudes to level 60, my boy, as soon as possible. Get them to Evo 2 as soon as possible. And at least get one of them leech set, because this is just disgusting, man. You have all this interaction and no gems and no levels on them and no Evo 2 action. I know you're kind of broke right now, man, but you need to go ahead and farm out some, do some sliming, and get them up, my boys. Get them up. You have a super Evo Wood Miho. I'm not sure why. I mean, if you have the extra resources, that's fine. But the problem is with Wood Miho, her stats aren't that great. Even as an attacker, she needs more defense down. She needs more stun, in my opinion, or a 2-turn stun. 2-turn stun, not stern. But you have her on a defense set, which is fine. She's there to debuff, honestly, and stun a little bit, but mainly to debuff. Perfectly fine. You have an Anu, almost max crit. You need to get that crit max, my boys, because if he does not crit with Hunter, he is useless. Both his skills skill off Hunter, he is useless. HP, attack, crit rate. Put him on Ruin. Put him on Ruin. If you can't do the Ruin set with 100%, put him on Intuition. Either one, but don't leave him on a broken set, because leaving him on a broken set, it ain't doing him justice, Liberty. You put him on Ruin, you're going to see all kinds of damage from this dude. All kinds of damage. Even more than what he puts out now, which I'm sure is quite good, because his resist is pretty darn good. But if you could get a Ruin set on him to help boost that crit damage, oh boy, it's going to be rest in peace to the squad. Everybody's going down in flames. People are dying. They quit in the game. They leave in Monster Super League, boy. They leave in Monster Super League. But I mean, this set's fine. But if you can get a Ruin set to help even add more attack to him, I would do that, because he is super and you want that benefit from the extra attack. But at the end of the day, it's just advice. Arthur, Evo 3, broken set as well. HP 7 and stun, perfectly fine. HP, attack, fine. I've no regards to say to him. And they're plus 15. Broken set's fine on him. It works. You have a Jean with nearly max crit rate. Which is why I'm kind of okay. You have crit damage on her. Crit rate and attack. Kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say, because with Stalker, it increases her crit rate by 30%. So essentially, she's sitting at 40% crit rate. So she only needs 60. And right now she's sitting at 92. So in theory, you could drop something and give up a little bit more crit rate for more damage. But she is on the optimal build that she can be on, and especially for what she does. So overall, she's good, man. She's good. Wood Hana, broken set. What is it? Defense, HP, recovery. That's fine. That's fine. She's there to debuff, and she's there to buff the squad. That's all she's there for. You got a little bit of skill books for her, which raises her passive up a decent amount. Not game breaking, but decent amount. Couldn't hurt if you can get those. Wood Cupid, again on a broken set. Good fat stack of resist on them. Good fat stack. Recovery, defense, HP. Called it. No qualms about that either. He's not there for attack. No. Okay, you do have your your Wood Nightmare on a Pugilist set, which is splendid. HP defense, that helps her not be so susceptible to defense down. I mean, she still is, but with that amount of HP, unless she's getting stunned because of her resist, she should be able to heal the squad quite well. So overall, definitely not bad at all. Definitely not bad at all. I would put mine on Pugilist, which she's on Pugilist right now. She's just not Evil 3. Definitely not bad though. Another Miho, man. You love these Mihos. She has all kinds of crit rate on her. I guess this is more of your attack Miho. Attack, not sure if you're just using her as damage, I guess, but I mean, she's a debuffer. You already have one Miho which is built fairly well, so she's fine. Let's see, Wood Banshee. You have her on crit rate as well, which is a bit odd. I mean, she doesn't really benefit from it, but she doesn't really lose anything from it either. Crit rate, attack, so double attack and crit rate, so she's kind of glassy. Morale boost and defense down. I mean, you could trade this out for a little bit more survivability, but I mean, overall it's not bad. None of her skills need crit rate though, so I mean, more crit isn't a bad thing, and her attack is okay, but overall it's not bad. It's not bad. Wood Thor, he's on Ruin, which I'm glad to see, but he is not max. You need to get him max, my bruh. Get him max. Because when he does Courageous Strike on his 3-star skill, if it doesn't crit, then it doesn't proc. So Ruin is fine for him, and you boost that crit damage up. But if you can't get max crit rate on Ruin, simply put him on Intuition. Will he out damage Intuition on a Ruin set with max crit rate? Of course. Will he out damage Intuition on a Ruin set without max crit rate? Depending on RNG, he could. But if he's not critting on his 3-star skill, then his 3-star skill is useless. So see if you can get him to 100% crit rate, or at least 90%, or put him to Intuition for now. But he is fairly close, so 84% if you put him with someone with a crit lead should help fill in the gap with him. But overall, not bad. Another Wood Hana on a broken set. Vivian on a broken set, and he is skill booked. I would say get him to 60 when you have a chance. Definitely not number 1 like right after this video. He's skill booked. He has a broken set on him. Defense, HP. Just for survivability, you could add attack to him, even though he's not really there for much damage. You could add attack to him if you want for a little bit more damage, but I mean, double defense is viable. Double defense is viable. You have your Raditz here. He's just attack down, which is perfectly fine. HP defense and HP. You could either do HP and double defense, or HP defense, and I mean, either one works. Either one works as long as he's being healed. My only qualm would be just get him to level 60 and let him have at it, dude. Let him have at it. Your Light Nike, she's on a defense set, level 6 lead. An amazing amount of resist. I was gonna say that she might be a little bit better on Intuition or Ruin if you could pull it off, but with her resist being as high as it is right now, and with a mon that has resist boost, I would say she's perfectly fine. If you have her on a defense set and her resist is this high, then I wouldn't change it. I mean, if I had another one, I would probably build her differently, but with her resist this high and her hitting her defensive needs, she's fine. She's fine. Wendigorn, he's on a broken set as well. Not sure if you realize this or not, but he's on a broken set, but his crit rate is nowhere near max, which is really easy compared to other mons with being critical rate reliant, especially because he's a light type. But definitely get him on a intuition set because he doesn't have a square, but get him on intuition set and try and boost that crit rate as much as you can. But I mean, you have a good, looks like a good understanding of how gems work and how they should be applied to depending on mon types. So I mean, get him on intuition set and get that crit rate up, and I don't really see much problems with him at all. Seal and fence down. You have on a crit on intuition set, perfectly fine. No qualms there, no qualms. Your Sun Wukong, he's on a broken set. HP, defense, perfectly fine too. Good amount of resist on him. He doesn't need crit at all, and he's a tank type, so he's built perfectly fine, dude. Perfectly fine. Again, he's on HP and double defense. Amazing amount of resist on him. Probably extremely annoying to fight. Perfectly fine. See there, he's an aggressor with attack down. Okay, so he's on triple defense, which is fine. I mean, you could offset that with a, I would say put him on maybe a resist set. If you put him on a resist set and use his resist lead, he's going to have all kinds of resist, and he's going to have the aggression a boost with defense. So definitely keep that in mind too. Throw him on a conviction set with triple defense and he should be good to go. I mean, get him booked up as well for a little bit more damage because he's a defender, a little bit, but overall clean. You have a triple score master race Tiana. She's on Siphon. Perfectly fine. She is weaker, in my opinion, than Light Sarah. But if you don't have any other Siphon farmer, she's perfectly fine. It looks like, what was it? Attack, crit rate. Nope, triple attack. Perfectly fine. She doesn't need crit rate for her attacks to proc. Fine. Let's see. You have what's his name? Light Doggo. Light Darkanon. You have him on, what is it? HP, attack. Fine. He's really there just to get Predator off. Kind of sucks that he doesn't have a square slot, because you could build him with crit to get more damage out of Predator. But I mean, you could still put him on intuition, in my opinion, and just maximize his attack. Throw him on intuition, try and get that crit rate as much as you can to offset his lack of a square, and just have at it. But there's no real wrong way to build him because he isn't reliant on crit rate. But with morale boost giving him 50% into Predator, having him on intuition or a ruin set with as much crit rate as you can squeeze out would probably be a little bit better for his DPS. Light Incubus, attack, HP, crit rate. You made him a glass cannon, which is perfectly fine. It just sucks that his healing is not good at all. That's the only bad part. This dude can't heal worth of nothing, and I know they buffed him, but he still couldn't heal worth of nothing. So not too bad. I can't really tell you guys how good he is because mine is still Evo 1, but not bad for what he is. Light Yeti, she's on a broken set, which is fine. She's a defender. HP defense, nothing wrong with that either. Morale boost and shock, and a decent amount of resist on her. Perfectly fine. Your Valk's on a broken set. Shock, HP, defense, HP, which is interesting. So you're trying to maximize her survivability, but you're kind of wasting your Predator at the same time. So I mean, perhaps give her an attack gem instead of a double HP in defense because she's not a defender or a tank. I can understand you wanting to keep that shock off. Well, keep shock up as much as you can, which is why she has that much high resist. But overall, definitely not bad. I mean, if you're going to build her with double HP in defense, this would be the way to go. You like Shiva, Battle Rush in HP, so this should be triple HP, which it is because of his HP is through the roof. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Good amount of resist on him. It doesn't really get much better than that unless you just have like perfect gems. Light Venus, HP, HP, triple HP. Perfectly fine. Her heals are based off of, her shield is based off her own heals for everybody, so that's perfectly fine. If you get her resist up a little bit, that would be legitness. Like, put her in a conviction set with this type of build, and bruh, she's golden, dude. She's golden. Put her on a conviction set. Congratulations, you beaten the game. Tank type, HP, defense. That's fine. Wild Fang, it looks like you haven't gotten around to building her yet. Defense down in shock, and she's balance type. There's a couple of different ways you can go with her. You could put her on crit rate. Like, you could put her on ruin. We could put her on HP if you wanted to. You could put her defense. It's really up to you what you want to put her on as. But just keep in mind that her defense down is 100%, which is amazing. So keep that in mind if you're going to build her. And I would say, I mean, balance types, I like to go for a little bit more damage and HP. So probably HP double attack if you want. But if not, you can throw in HP attack and crit rate, and she should be perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. So you're not done building her yet either. You obviously know what to do for her. Your Gatito, he's max crit rate. If only he was on ruin. If you could get this dude on ruin, he's gonna straight rest in peace to the squad, everything. But I mean, his crit damage alone isn't bad. It's near what ruin is anyways, so he offsets his 100% with ruin by sacrificing 10% of his crit damage. So that Gatito is smartly built. Dark Mona, she's on a siphon set. I figured near max crit rate, perfectly fine. She's good to go. You ever booked up? Yep, you do have her booked up too. Snow White, she's on a crit rate set as well. HP, attack, crit rate. No qualms about that either. Snow White is very solid. You have a Dark Rudolph. She needs that crit. You have near max crit on a broken set. I would say put her on ruin if you can, because she does have a square slot. But I mean, it works. If you get her on ruin to help maximize her use of Hunter, you're gonna get a bit more damage out of her. But this build isn't the worst at all either. Though he's on crit, I don't need to see that, because if he's on crit, he's good to go. HP's okay, a little bit of attack and crit, he's good to go, man. Dark Spark it. See some resist, and he is morale boost and stun. Some resist, so defense, HP, perfectly fine. He's a tank type, perfectly fine. Again, extremely high resist on your aggressors, which is beautiful. I was gonna say something about this one too, but just max her gems out. Get them gems up to plus 15. Squeeze a little bit more defense out of her, a little bit more resist, it looks like, and she should be fine. If you can, even though I doubt you can perhaps get your resist that high, throw her on maybe a intuition set or a ruin set with a good amount of resist on it and a good amount of crit, which is kind of hard to do. But I mean, for what she is, she's perfectly fine. Looks like you got, I don't know why you don't have her booked, man. You need to go ahead and book her after you see this video, even though you're kind of running low on money. But book her as soon as possible, because you're missing out on some free damage. Birdie, he's on triple HP. That's fine. Triple HP. My only qualm with him is, sucks that you didn't get a birdie with a square slot, so you can run him maybe on crit rate and double HP, because he is so tanky. But it is what it is. I would say put him on intuition with HP and try to make the best of both worlds and get his resist up. But it's not the worst I've seen. At the end of the day, all he needs is just triple HP though. Another Gatito, max crit rate, perfectly fine. Again, put him on ruin if possible. If not, intuition. Dark Kiki, damn near max crit rate again. Perfectly fine. Attack, HP, and crit rate. Hanzo, okay, you got max crit rate on him, which is fine. Again, looks like attack, crit rate, and something else. Crit damage. Yep, crit damage. So he has all kinds of crit damage. He's built a little bit differently than I would have anticipated, but that's actually kind of a smart way to build him in my opinion. That is a smart way, so he's fine. Dark Tina, she's on her Cypher set as well. HP, attack, crit rate. I might give up that HP gem and go for an attack gem if you have another one laying around, which looks like you might possibly have one laying around. But if you have another one laying around, just put her on like an attack, double attack, and help maximize her boost with her crit rate and her hunter to get the maximum DPS out of her. But overall, her in a Cypher set is perfectly fine. What's her name? I can't even remember her name, dude. HP Siphon. I'll get back to you with the name because I totally forgot it. And this is like a 50-minute long video. She's fine. She heals herself. She is a dark type and an attacker as well. No qualms about that either. No qualms about that. Can't remember her Evo 1 form. Rest in peace. Morgan, not really a mon I would build, but it looks like you're trying to make the best out of both worlds over here, like Hannah Montana. Double defense and HP. I would say give her more HP if you can, but it looks like you're going for max resist, which is perfectly fine. You have skill bugs, but they don't really matter for her. Your Dark Venus is on a broken set as well. Attack down and attack up, perfectly fine. Decent amount of resist. She could use more defense in my opinion, so see if you can get her on maybe a conviction set or a recovery set or defense set or HP set, but I always say go for conviction and she would be golden. Loki over here, double seal. You could do, yep, I do triple HP on him. I would possibly do defense on him as well, just one defense, because it's kind of hard to heal mons with 100k HP, but it is what it is. He's perfectly fine. He's okay. See if you can get more resist out of him, or at least add a defense gem to him, and he should be okay. Dark Floor, defense, which is weird. Defense HP because she's balanced. You could trade that in for attack, but it's not going to really improve her sap, so I can get why you did that. The only qualm I have is see if you can exchange that Ruin Gem out, even though her resist is quite high, beautifully high. See if you can switch that Intuition Gem out. I mean, Ruin Gem out and put it on Intuition. But other than that, then I don't really see a big deal with it. I mean, she's here just for sap, so if she can get more saps off, the better. And her resist is pretty high, so she shouldn't have any problems getting her sap off. Benjamin, defense down and persevere. Looks like a broken set. He does not have a square slot, unfortunately. So I mean, if you could put him on intuition to help maximize his lack of square slot and get him level 60, he should be okay. You have another C star that you have on a resist set, perfectly fine. Crit rate isn't max, but if you can get it near max, finish increasing her gems up, she should be a solid choice as well. You can troll in clan versus clan or PvP defense by having two Krakens built, well, two Dark Sea Stars built differently, but overall definitely not bad at all. You got an Evo 3 Somnus, which is beautiful. Again, not exactly 100% sure how sleep works, but at least put him with crit, and you do have a square slot on him, so get him on probably Ruin in my opinion, and have at it, because Hunter will benefit dearly from Ruin, especially with the added crit damage. And if you can't do Ruin, go ahead and offset it with Intuition. Do what you did for your first Gatito, and he's good to go, my boys. And Dark Radis, stun and HP aggression, defense aggression. So definitely build him with defense. Triple defense is fine. Either get him a little bit more crit rate on him, go for max crit rate, or go for max resist, and he's good to go. Whenever you get him to Evo, not Evo 3, but whenever you get him level 60, either go for more resist or max crit rate, keep the defense, and he's good to go. And feel free to skill book him up too. I mean, I know it's costly, and I mean, you're gonna add in some damage, but not an insane amount of damage. So I mean, overall, definitely not bad. Looks like you got a Dark Wukong as well, Dark Sarah, which could be useful, but you have a Dark Mona and a Dark Tina, so not very useful. Light Sarah, you have Mons on Cypher sets already. So overall, your Mon box isn't bad at all. You're definitely, I would say, late game. There's a couple mons you need to work on, gem wise, but for the most part, your gems are done in a quite brilliant way. And there's nothing really else for me to say. I'm sure you can do dragons, maybe not B10 probably, but you should be able to do probably up to B9, I estimate. In terms of B10, you could probably get away with a double Gatito, maybe, yeah, a double Gatito type team. I can't tell you right offhand, but a double Gatito type team should serve you well for Dragons B10. And it looks like you're doing some Colossus as well, because your mons are gemmed up properly. But other than maxing gems out just to help maximize your damage in Titans and getting them skill booked and getting a couple more ascended, especially your Indras, man, get your Indras ascended ASAP. Other than that, I mean, your account review is beautiful, dude. Your account's amazing. The way that you done gems, guys, if you watch the video up to this point, take note, go back and look at his gems. But overall, I mean, there's some stuff to improve on, mainly your PvP defense team, but it is what it is. And remember, guys, at the end of the day, this is all just advice. You don't have to take what I say to heart. But yeah, that pretty much sums up the video, you guys. As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you have an account you want your boy to review, let me know. Hit me up on Discord. And guys, thank you for your time. Peace out.